All right, so we've got blue back together. So it's not old blue, he's renewed blue. And he's running, everything's going good, but we've decided we want all new wiring. So again, after we got on the internet, found us not only all new wiring, but we're going to be replacing the old dash cluster with a new dash cluster. We're going to have to take the hood back off, which isn't that big of a deal since we got new bolts and everything's not rusted. So we'll get started with that, get it disassembled, and start getting the new wiring done. So you guys come along.
So here we are back at the tractor in the barn. It's stormy outside, so it's a perfect day to do it. There's not a lot we can do outside. We're gonna replace the wiring harness on our 2000 Ford tractor, 1970 version, and we have begun already. We've unplugged part of the wiring harness. We're gonna have to take it off of the voltage regulator, and we're gonna have to find where it goes down here. Our next thing is to unscrew the 4 bolts on the cluster, 1, 2, 3, 4 Phillips head. So follow us along to get that done. Steering wheel is a little bit in the way, but we want to take it out sort of carefully because we don't have a new gasket for it. So we're going to have to use the old one. So let's get these out, and hopefully it's not in too bad a condition. If all else fails, I'll make us a new one out of felt.
If all else fails, I'll just 3D print one.
That's a great idea too. I didn't even think of that. Don't have the best angle here.
So while Astrid is taking off the dash cluster, I'll kind of give you guys a rundown. This is the RPM gauge that'll go up to the cluster. And this is our generator. And we have to run. So basically, we're going to have all new wiring. I kind of taped everything up trying to, salvage what we had. But then she was just like, we'll just get a new one. So that's what we did. She found one on the internet.
All right, well, this is pretty stuck, so I'm going to have to, oh, there we go. All right.
Hold on just a second. I want to go ahead and take, so I disconnected the tach cable, I guess tachometer cable, speedometer cable, whichever one it is. So Astrid should be able to get the cluster out a little bit more freely. Probably need to maybe go in and probably just disconnect all the wiring first.
All right, we've got all of them unplugged except one. And since I don't need it, I'm just going to leave it on there. Let me go ahead. We've unplugged this top part of the wiring harness. Let me go ahead and pull it out. And then we'll unplug these from under the front of the tractor steering wheel.
Yeah, I think these go to the ignition and the switch and the rear lights, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll have to get that unplugged, and then we can probably just pull that up. I don't think you need to worry about that fuse. It's fine because we have a new fuse on the new harness.
Alrighty.
All right, so we'll take a break and get these unplugged and get the rest of this harness
All
out.
right, we've got the headlamp switch taken out. One of them was pretty stuck, so we just clipped it, but you might want to be careful. Obviously took the knob off. It had a lock nut on it, and all of the other wires to the other things are unplugged. Now we're just going to pull it out. Try to remember which way they go so that we can put the forks back in the same way. And voila! The wiring harness is out. We've got our new wiring harness already here, somewhat together. Oh no, Neil unplugged it.
I had to put the gasket on the cluster, so
Figure out how to get it back on there.
Astrid's working on connecting the light switch up I went ahead and disconnected all the wiring from the voltage regulator. Now I've got to figure out how this all kind of fishes down into the engine area. So I'm going to get that wiring harness taken out and hopefully get the new one put back in the proper place. Fingers crossed. Okay, the old wiring harness is out. I'm going to put the new wiring harness in. Of course, this is going to plug in to that plug. Then all these wires go to the voltage regulator. These wires here will run down to the starter solenoid, which is located behind this plate here. And then the rest of the wires will feed through, run up to the oil pressure gauge, or the oil pressure sending unit, the headlights, the temperature gauge, and our generator. So we'll get that wired up and fish through and bring you back and let you see what it looks like. All right, so I got the voltage regulator hooked back up. Of course, you put your ground to the chassis. Then this goes to first terminal here for ground. And then you have this thicker red wire that goes to the armature, which is D. And then you have this thin brown and yellow wire goes to the generator warning light. So as you can see here, WL warning light. Then you have the green wire that goes on the next terminal for field. And then you have the yellow and red wire goes on the first battery terminal here for the starter battery. And then you have the yellow wire that goes on the next terminal, which is the last terminal for your ignition switch. So we've got the voltage regulator hooked back up, and now I've got to run the wires down to the starter solenoid, get that wired up, and then run these wires up to the front for the headlights, temperature sending unit, oil pressure sending unit, and the generator. So I'll get that started next and bring you guys back and let you see what that looks like. So Astrid's up here wiring the instrument cluster, and come to find out we might need to get some bulbs. I don't know if there was any in the other wiring harness. Did you check? Okay. Well, probably have to get some bulbs for it. All right, so here's another exciting thing Astrid ordered us, was this new instrument cluster. Where's the old one at, Astrid? Let's just give them a comparison real quick. So this is the one that came on the tractor, original from 1970. And it was a mess. Look, the tachometer gauge is broke. We never knew if we had gas in it or not. So
It was literally doing that.
yeah. So we've now got, sorry about the glare, this new instrument cluster. And we still got to get some light bulbs for it. So that's something that we're going to be working on getting ordered, or see if we can find them with a local auto parts store. And yeah, we're excited about our new instrument cluster. I know I am. All right, so Astrid has been working on the headlight switch, and it was rusted up, and we haven't had headlights. So hopefully she's got it figured out. She did figure out that there was a blown fuse. So can you try turning your switch on? All right, we got headlights. This other one over here is not working. I'll have to check the wire on that one, but that's awesome. Now, what if, and what is the reason that our back lights aren't working? Turn them back on again. Pull it all the way out. All right, we got to figure that out. Discovered why this one's not working, our warning signal or flashing signal. Well, you can kind of see that old signal or flasher was wore out, rusted, broke. So we're gonna order us a new one of those, get that installed. I'm cleaning up these mounting areas, the bolt holes, so that it gets a good ground. And hopefully we'll get that working. All right, so we have both the headlights working. Astrid rewired the headlight switch. We found a new fuse for it, was able to put that in, Excuse me. Astrid rewired the switch and was able to find a fuse for it, so we got that in. This light over here on the driver's side, or the left-hand side, the ground was messed up, so I ran a new wire and redid the ground. And turn them on one more time, baby.
Old blue is back in action.
Oh, blue's got some lights, so we're excited. One thing we're looking for, we'd like to find a canopy for it, or the fiberglass top. So if you know where there might be one, drop it down in the comments, and we'd love to find one.
And we need this front piece welded. This is really thick, so
Yeah, we'll probably just,
we'd like to have it back the way it was originally. But
I don't know if you guys ever saw the front down here was mangled, and we got that off, and Astrid and I kind of tag teamed that and put the bent the metal back straight. But that's the original push bar front bumper that goes on it. So all right, we're gonna get this thing put back together, get it started up, and get it ready to do some bush hog. Tell you what, blue's looking a lot better. We've got the new wiring harness installed. We've got the new dash cluster is installed. We've got to get some new bulbs for it, so that's something we got to get when we're out. And I got to put the hood back on. Both of our headlights are working. We've got the grill back in. As much dents that we could pound it out. We got, like I said, the new wiring harness all wired up here. This is great because the old one was all dry rotted and corroded and would never stay on there very well. Got the solenoid rewired. So yeah, we have the new battery terminals put on. They kind of like our quick connects. You can unclip these and pull them right off. I don't have to worry about using anything, any sockets or ratchets to get them off there, or wrenches or whatever other things you might use. Leatherman, vice grips, that kind of stuff. But anyway, he's shaping up. After took that signal light down to the house, she's gonna clean it up and gonna go ahead and spray paint that, make it look good. I'm gonna go ahead now and get the hood put back on. All right, so I'm back up here working on the old blue. We got a new flasher for the hazard light. Got some new bolts to mount it to the fender. And right now I'm working on loosening this nut down here so that I can adjust the light, because once you loosen that up inside there, you can move the light on the base. So I'm making it where it sets up proper on the fender. It was kind of leaning over, so we want to get it setting up as straight as possible. So that's what I'm working on now. And let's see what it looks like when I get it on there. All right, so I've got the flasher working and the rear red light working. They both had bad ground, so I ran a new wire from the tractor's chassis up to the lights themselves and grounded the fender so that they would be getting a good ground. So everything's working. Just got to put the red lens back on the red light. And this task will be done. On to the next. All right, so we bought some new LED lights for the dash cluster. Got those installed, so now we have illumination on the dash. And we have a warning light for the battery and one for the oil pressure. So got that task done. Now we'll move on to the next one. Not sure what that'll be, but we'll let you know when we figure it out. Oh yeah, I got some helpers up here. They're watching the work progress. All right, so we hope you've enjoyed this video of us kind of giving Blue a little bit of a makeover. Well, not just a little bit, quite a bit of a makeover. He's gotten repainted on his lower end. We haven't painted the top. We kind of like the patina on the top. We've redone the wiring harness. We rewired the starter solenoid. We worked on the exhaust. We've been working on, the generator. We rewired the generator. Got the cable ran up to the instrument cluster.
It's all wired out. We've got the front, Neil's got the front lights working perfectly.
New battery terminals. We got to get a new battery for this. We're using one out of something else, but
Old Blue, we're super excited about it being able to run with a little bit more power and a little bit more consistency. Thanks for joining us on the channel today. Like and subscribe, follow us for more farm fun.